Most men spend their entire lives chasing women, trying to impress them, win them over, hoping they'll finally get chosen. But what if I told you? The real secret isn't about chasing her at all. It's about understanding her weaknesses, the ones she'll never admit, not even to herself. These hidden emotional patterns, they give you the power, not to manipulate, but to attract, effortlessly, naturally. When you master these 10 silent truths, women start to notice you differently. They lean in, they open up, and they start chasing you. So sit back, fellas, because today we're unlocking the part of the female mind no one ever teaches you about. This is how real, high-value men stand out. Let's dive in. 1. She's attracted to emotional certainty, even if she acts independent. You ever meet a woman who says, "I don't need a man to lead me, I can handle myself"? Sounds confident, right? But here's the truth. Even the strongest women crave one thing deep down: a man who doesn't waver. You see, the modern world tells women to be fierce and independent, and that's fine. But emotional independence doesn't cancel out emotional craving. She wants to feel safe in your presence, not just physically, but emotionally. She wants to look into your eyes and see that you're unshakable, that your decisions aren't based on her moods, that your self-worth doesn't rise and fall with her attention. Because when a man walks through life with emotional certainty, he becomes magnetic. He doesn't argue. He doesn't beg. He doesn't panic when things get tense. Instead, he says, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." And guess what? 9 times out of 10, she'll take it. Why? Because emotional certainty is rare, and women are wired to respect it. If you can hold your frame while she tests you, complains, or gets distant, she'll realize, damn, he's built different. And suddenly, she wants to follow you, even if she told herself she'd never follow any man. 2. Her ego depends on how you react to her. A lot of guys think women are all confidence and self-love, but underneath the surface, most women are just as insecure as men, sometimes more. And here's the kicker: your reactions feed her ego. Let me explain. When she dresses up and walks past you, she's not just checking the mirror, she's checking you. When she gives you a little attitude or plays hard to get, she's testing how much power she has over you. If you bite the bait, get flustered, act desperate, or try too hard to please, she knows she owns your emotions. And her ego, it gets fed. But when you stay calm, maybe even a little amused, when you don't validate her every time she seeks it, you starve that need. And that's when something shifts. She starts wondering, why isn't he reacting? Does he not care? Is he different from the others? That curiosity, it's powerful. Because once a woman feels uncertain about how much you value her, she starts valuing you more. It's ironic, but it's true. Control your reactions, and you control the frame. 3. She's drawn to what she can't fully predict. Here's a little secret most guys never figure out. Predictability kills attraction. If she knows exactly when you'll text, what you'll say, how you'll respond to her every move, you become emotionally boring. And women don't crave boring. They crave mystery, not the fake kind, where you try to play hard to get or disappear for days. I'm talking about the authentic kind, where you're simply focused on your own life, and she can't quite put her finger on you. Some days you're warm, other days you're busy, focused on your mission. This unpredictability creates a psychological tension she likes, because it mirrors real-life challenge. Think about it. Why do women fall for musicians, athletes, or successful entrepreneurs? It's not just the money or fame, it's the uncertainty. Will he choose me? Does he really like me? Why is he so different? That mystery pulls her in deeper. So if you want to be irresistible, stop being predictable. Don't always respond the same way. Don't always make yourself instantly available. Keep your life moving and let her wonder what's on your mind, because when she can't fully figure you out, she starts investing more just to try. 4. She wants to feel claimed, not controlled. This one's delicate but powerful. Most women hate the feeling of being controlled, but they love the feeling of being claimed. What's the difference? Control is about insecurity. It's a man saying, "I don't trust you, so I'm going to monitor you." Claiming is about confidence. It's a man saying, "You're mine, and I protect what's mine." A woman wants to feel chosen, not like an option, not like a placeholder, but like a woman who stands beside a man with strength. But here's the trick. You don't do it by checking her phone or asking where she's been. You do it by moving through life with self-respect. You have standards, boundaries, non-negotiables. You don't chase validation, but when she's with you, she feels secure. You guide with calm energy, not force, and you make her feel like she's part of something bigger, your mission, your path. And when she senses that energy, she lets go of control and willingly gives you the lead, because being claimed by a grounded man feels better than freedom. 5. She feels more when you speak less. Here's where most guys mess up. They talk too much, explain too much, text paragraphs trying to fix things. But here's the truth. A woman feels more when you say less. Why? Because silence triggers imagination. And imagination is where emotion lives. If you respond too quickly, explain too much, or always fill the silence, you remove all mystery. But when you pause, when you let her sit with her own thoughts, when you say only what's necessary with confidence and calm, you become powerful. Your words carry weight, your energy becomes grounded. And suddenly, she's listening more closely. Think about a man who walks into a room and says very little, but when he does speak, everyone listens. That's power. Women aren't drawn to constant chatter. They're drawn to presence, poise, subtle dominance. When you learn to speak less and feel more grounded in your silence, you create space for her emotions to rise. And in that space, she gets pulled in. 6. She can't resist a man who doesn't need her. This one stings, but it's the truth. The less you need her, the more she feels drawn to you. Neediness is repelling, and most guys don't even realize they're doing it. They think, if I show her how much I care, she'll stay. If I text more, she'll know I'm serious. If I do more for her, she'll finally see my value. But all she sees is desperation. Now flip the script. Imagine a man who's focused on his mission, who enjoys her company but doesn't chase it, who can walk away at any moment, not out of spite, but because he values himself. That man is rare, and in her mind, he becomes a challenge worth having, not because he's playing games, but because he's whole on his own. Women don't fall in love with a man who makes them his everything. They fall in love with the man who makes himself his priority and invites her into that world. When you don't need her, she starts to need you. 7. Her emotions are amplified by the space you give her. Most men think they need to always be around, always texting, always reassuring, always doing more to keep her interested. But here's the truth that high-value men understand. Distance builds desire. When you give a woman space, not as a strategy, but as a lifestyle, you allow her emotions to rise on their own, because in that silence, she reflects. She replays your words, your energy, your presence, and in that mental replay, you start to take up more space in her mind. See, women are emotional creatures. They don't fall in love through logic or lists. They fall in love by feeling. And ironically, One of the most powerful ways to make her feel deeply is to let her miss you. Let her sit with her thoughts. Let her wonder why you haven't texted. Let her notice the absence of your masculine energy. But here's the key: don't use distance as punishment. Use it as presence elsewhere. Be busy with your mission, your purpose, your growth. Not to get a reaction, but because that's who you are. And the moment she realizes you're not chasing, that you're not emotionally dependent on her, she leans in harder. Because space doesn't kill connection, it creates it. If she truly values you, distance won't make her forget. It'll make her obsessed. 8. She's drawn to the man who stays calm during her storm. There will be moments where she's emotional, moments she says things she doesn't mean, moments she tries to stir something up inside you. Most guys react. They fight back. They argue, explain, justify, or collapse under pressure. But the high-value man, he stays calm, grounded, present, because he knows her storm isn't his to drown in. Women test men emotionally, not to destroy them, but to feel their strength. When she throws chaos your way and you remain steady, you pass the test, not by overpowering her, not by shutting her down, but by standing firm in your energy. You listen, you observe, and when it's time to speak, you do it with clarity, not emotion. That calmness, it makes her feel safe. It tells her, I can lose myself around him, and he won't lose himself too. That's powerful, because a woman doesn't need a man who mirrors her chaos. She needs a man who can hold it. The moment she realizes her emotional waves can't shake your foundation, she stops testing, and she starts trusting. 9. Her respect grows when you walk away from disrespect. Let's get real for a second. A woman can be beautiful, smart, even loving, but if she disrespects you and you tolerate it, she will lose interest fast. Women secretly admire a man who has boundaries, a man who won't raise his voice, but will walk away the moment he's no longer being valued, not as a threat, not as manipulation, but as self-respect. Because here's the hidden weakness. Most women want to feel like they can't walk all over you. They want to know you have standards. And if she crosses a line, disrespects your time, your effort, or your energy, and you stay quiet or cling harder, she won't feel sorry for you. She'll feel nothing. But if you calmly distance yourself, if you pull back your attention without drama, she feels the shift. And suddenly, she starts thinking about what she did. Because women don't respect men who beg for love. They respect men who know what they deserve. So remember, when you walk away from disrespect, you teach her how to treat you. And if she's truly feminine at heart, she'll come back better. 10. Her deepest craving is to surrender to a man she trusts. This one is deep, and most men never understand it. At her core, a woman doesn't want to lead. She doesn't want to carry the emotional weight. She doesn't want to be the rock. What she really wants is to surrender, not to just any man, but to a man she trusts with her heart, her emotions, her soul. She wants to feel like she can let go, that she can rest in your masculine energy, that she doesn't have to overthink, overwork, or protect herself. But here's the truth. She won't surrender to a man who's unstable, or insecure, or needy. She'll only surrender to a man who leads himself first, a man with direction, a man who speaks with clarity, a man who protects, provides, and stands firm in who he is. When you become that man, she melts, not because you forced her to, but because you gave her the freedom to let go. And in that surrender, that's where real intimacy is born. That's where attraction becomes loyalty, where desire becomes devotion. So be the man who leads himself, and you'll never have to chase a woman again. So now you know the truth. Attraction isn't about looks, money, or chasing her approval. It's about mastering her emotional blueprint, the weaknesses she hides from the world, emotional certainty, mystery, boundaries, presence. These are the traits of the man she can't resist. But remember, this isn't about playing games. It's about becoming a man who moves through life with purpose, who doesn't fold under pressure, and who holds space for her emotions without losing control of his own. Because when you stop trying to impress women and start understanding them, they don't walk away, they follow. And that, my friend, is what makes you truly irresistible.